Hey everybody. Now, welcome to the vocabulary lesson. This is the 60 vocabulary lesson, and now we are on the vocabulary lesson 60. 60. So, we're going to be talking about, which is two words, which is component and opponent. So, here we go. Component means a large or element of a larger whole, especially a part of a machine or a vehicle. Stereo components, similar, part, piece, bit, constituent, element, ingredient, unit, module, item, section, portion, integrant, constituting, part of a larger whole, constituent, light, constituent. I don't know how to pronounce that. That is the newest word for me. Newest words that I've been learning all the time. Light pass through a prism breaks up into its component colors. Similar. Constituent. Constituent. That's the newest word. Integral. Basic. Essential. Intrinsic. Integrant. A constituent. Sheesh. A constituent part, element, ingredient, being or serving as an element in something larger, composing constituent. That's a newest word, man. Wow. The component parts of a computer system. The components of an electric circuit. He sells spare computer components. Component. One of the parts of something such as a system or mixture. An important piece of something. Helping to make up the whole of something, such as system or a mixture. Forming or being a part of something. One of the parts or units of a combination, mixture, or system. A constituent part. The exocrine. Let me get this. Wow, man, this is the most newest word for me, man. But the exocrine. But wow, we. All right, so here, let me get this. Let me get this straight here. This word here. Okay, here. Constituent. All right, here. Let me look that up right now. I want to know how can you pronounce this. So I'm gonna go on Google. I'm gonna ask Google about how can you pronounce this. So this is gonna help me out right here.
Constituent.
Okay, you hear that? I press the audio right here.
Constituent.
Constituent. Constituent. Okay. You say a constituent part. Newest word I never heard of before in my life, you know? And over here, exocrine, like, okay, here, let me
Exocrine.
exocrine. Exocrine.
Exocrine.
Exocrine. Okay. The exocrine and endocrine components of the Wow, that's the newest word I never heard in my life. I mean, Jesus Christ. That is the newest word ever. Look at this.
Pancreas.
Pancreas. the exocrine and endocrine components of the pancreas. Pancreas. Wow. Huh. A part that combines with other parts to form something bigger. Television, aircraft, computer components, the factory supplies, electrical components for cars. The course has 4 main components: business law, finance, computing, and management skills. One of the parts of a system, process, or machine. Fair pay for child care providers is a vital. I don't know how can you pronounce it here. Let me ask Google.
Vital.
Vital. That's how you pronounce it. Component of welfare reform. The components of something are the parts that it is made of. Enriched uranium is a key component of a nuclear weapon. The management plan has the management plan has 4 main components. Component means a part or element of a larger whole, especially a part of a machine or vehicle. The funnel varies greatly in size and number of its component cells. Certainly, the labor component of assembling the Mercedes could fall to nearly zero. A component is a part of something. A part something, a piece of something. Component means a unit made up of an actual measure, or a compartment made in a whole. Component, the thing in something bigger. The computer has many components inside. The car engine has many components inside. The calculator has components inside. And then next, which is opponent. Opponent is someone who competes against or fights another in a contest, game, or argument. A rival or adversary. He beat his opponent by a landslide margin. Similar. Rival, adversary, opposer, the opposition, fellow, contestation. A fellow contestant, fellow, competitor, enemy, foe, antagonist, competent, contender, challenger, critic, dissenter, disputant, objector, opposite, ally, partner, colleague there. A person who disagrees with or resists a proposal or practice. An opponent of the economic reforms. Similar, opposer, objector, dissident, dissenter, rejectionist, opposite, supporter. She had a decided advantage over her opponent. Opponent means someone you play against. The team's opponents have not lost a game this season. Someone who competes against or fights another in a contest, game, or argument, a rival. Opponent is the other player in the game or other situation. Opponent means one against another. This is your opponent. This is my first opponent. My second opponent. Opponent, someone with a different view. Opponent means some that you are playing a game against, or someone that has a different view. She hit the ball so hard that her opponent had no chance to establish any rhythm in her game. Turner's opponent in the quarterfinals of the darts is the no 1 seed. Targeting the opponent's weak spots is a typical technique in politics. His bad behavior provided plenty of ammunition for his opponents. A person who disagrees with someone and speaks against it or tries to change it. A political opponent leading opponents of the proposed cuts in defense spending will meet later today. A person who someone is competing against in a sports event. In the second game, her opponent hurt her leg and had to retire. A person who disagrees with something and speaks against it or tries to change it. Opponents of the project fear it will attract undesirables. A person you are competing against, especially in politics or sports. His chief opponent in the November election will be Jim Crowley. Joe Biden is the opponent of Donald Trump. The other team members are your opponents, means you are competing against them. All right, folks, that's it. The lesson is over. Hope you guys enjoyed the lesson. And here, I want to say this again. So, gosh, where am I? Component means the thing in something bigger. The computer has many components inside. The car engine has many components inside. The calculator has components inside. So it's a large, component means it's a large or element of a larger whole, especially a part of a machine or a vehicle. All right. So component means a large or element of a larger whole, especially a part of a machine or a vehicle. Component means it's the thing and something bigger. The computer has many components. Inside the car engine has many components inside. The calculator has components inside. Element of a larger whole. An element. Okay, well, I gotta know what an element means, you know? Okay, so there we go. And the opponent means someone you play against. 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 The team's opponents have not lost a game this season. Catherine. Someone who competes against or fights another in a contest, game, or argument, a rival. Opponent is the other player in the game or other situation. Opponent means one against another. Opponent means one against another. Opponent means someone you play against. One last time. Opponent means someone you play against. So, that's it. The lesson is over.